For 100 years, the University at Buffalo School of Management has been developing leaders who have made an impact around the world in a range of industries. And it all started 100 years ago.
In 1923, the UB Council established evening sessions of business administration and journalism in Townsend Hall on Niagara Square, the first steps towards what we know today as the UB School of Management. By 1927, the degrees in business administration were awarded, and the school moved here to Hayes Hall on what is now the South Campus. The part-time MBA program was established in 1930, and the first permanent home of the school, Crosby Hall, was completed 2 years later.
Well, things were tough during the Great Depression. Marketing and economics professor Edmund D. McGarry wrote that these were lean years for the university, and at times, we hardly knew whether it could be held together. Well, it did hold together, and less than a decade later, the university did its part to help the cause during World War II. The faculty had to bend its teaching of economics, labor, and marketing to the Army's demand for things like strategy, tactics, and logistics. Professor McGarry even taught celestial navigation. Well, after the war, GIs flooded into the university. Enrollment surged to more than 1,300 students. That's 6 times more than what it was when the U.S. entered the war. A few years later, in 1949, the school established a PhD program and admitted its first 2 doctoral candidates.
In 1962, UB became part of the SUNY system. The following year, the university established a full-time MBA program. In 1969, the School of Business Administration was officially renamed the School of Management. Dean Richard Vredenburgh explained the name change, saying, "It has become increasingly clear that management concepts and tools first used in the business context are also useful in understanding and managing other types of organizations." 2 years after that, the school started its internship program, which soon became one of the largest in the country. In 1977, the school launched a Center for Management Development to coordinate education programs for practicing managers.
The 80s were a time of growth and expansion, and as the school evolved, its sphere of influence widened. In 1984, the school established the first U.S. MBA program in China, with support from the Chinese Ministry of Education and the U.S. Department of Commerce. Back in the U.S., the Jacobson Management Center opened in 1985 and became the School of Management's new home. 2 years later, the school established a Center for Entrepreneurial Leadership in 1987 and has been helping entrepreneurs overcome challenges, inspire innovation, and propel businesses to grow in profitability ever since.
The early 90s were marked by the creation of several international partnerships in countries like Hungary, Latvia, and Singapore. In 1994, the school introduced the Executive MBA program, and our first class of 21 students graduated in 1996.
In the new millennium, the school championed new initiatives in technological entrepreneurship and a new master's degree program in India. In 2005, the school celebrated the opening of the student-focused Alfiero Center. Through it all, the School of Management has kept pace with changes in business and society.
Programs like Leader Corps, our undergraduate honors program, and our Center for Leadership and Organizational Effectiveness develop leaders who create positive change in the world. Specialized master's degrees produce graduates who rise to the top in finance, accounting, and information systems. Dual degree programs help MBAs master the business of their business, from law to healthcare to social work and beyond. And that's just the beginning. Through our programs, research, partnerships, and global reach, we're helping organizations and students create social impact, giving leaders the tools to navigate their ever-changing industries, and supporting budding entrepreneurs as they innovate and change the world for the next 100 years.
Great history shared in that video. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to a very special celebration during an important time in the school's history, the UB School of Management's 100th year anniversary. My name is Andy Peer. I'm a past president of the School of Management Alumni Association. Our current president, Laura Barity, is unable to be here this afternoon due to illness, and we wish her a speedy recovery. Today we join School of Management Dean Ananth Iyer, alumni, students, distinguished members of our faculty, and the business and nonprofit communities to honor 9 exceptional alumni for their achievements and for their impact. I'd like to begin by thanking some of our celebration sponsors. Our presenting sponsors, ACV and Delaware North Companies. Our event sponsors, Murak and Associates and Transformational Solutions Work Group, and the many table sponsors also listed in your program. Thank you to all for your support of our honorees. Also, a very special welcome to family members and friends of our honorees. We're so glad that you could be here this afternoon. And welcome to alumni and friends who are joining us remotely via YouTube. Thank you all for coming. Before I turn the microphone to Dean Iyer, I'd like to mention a special addition to today's celebration. The School of Management is introducing a time capsule to be opened 100 years from today. The written remarks of our honorees will be the very first contributions to our time capsule. It is now my pleasure to introduce Ananth Iyer, Dean of the School of Management.
Thank you, Andy. Welcome to the UB School of Management's Centennial celebration. It's a privilege to be hosting all of you at this milestone event, and I'm so happy you could be here to celebrate today's honorees. A few special things happening today include the lighting of the Peace Bridge. So if you go later after dusk, you'll get to see UB blue on the Peace Bridge. We also have a resolution by the Erie County Legislature. And the Erie County Legislature introduced a resolution recognizing the school for its 100th anniversary celebration. So thank you for all of those events. As one of the nation's top business schools, the UB School of Management continues to rise in stature, and our alumni are leading by example to make the world a better place. Today, we recognize 9 alumni who have demonstrated exceptional leadership in their careers and who have made outstanding contributions to the business world and beyond. As most of you know, the University at Buffalo is a flagship of the State University of New York, with UB's ambition to become a top 25 research university. Our school is keenly focused on the markers critical to those ambitions. These include interdisciplinary excellence, research funding, diversity and excellence of our faculty and student body, and impact. From our humble beginnings in 1923 to the first BS in Business Administration that was awarded in 1927, to the expansive portfolio of campus-based, hybrid, and now online programs that we offer today, the School of Management is known for developing leaders around the world who make an impact on their respective businesses and their communities. To build upon our strong foundation, we're expanding our collaborations across campus and throughout the business community. And as we continue to nurture faculty research and teaching success, we are growing our programs in innovative ways while maintaining the excellence that is the hallmark of a UB School of Management degree. You will see our focus on key initiatives across the school to maximize our impact, including looking at the business of climate change through the lens of business, advancing and improving society through the social impact of management, leveraging technology and information to solve problems, and inspiring innovation, entrepreneurship, and leadership. Last year, we hired 10 new faculty, and this year, we plan to hire 16 additional faculty. With your help, we will continue to invest in the people, programs, and places that enhance the success of our graduates and their impact on the world. I am confident that the next 100 years are going to be spectacular. We hope all of you will be part of this exciting time at the UB School of Management. Together, we can enjoy the benefit of the school's continuously expanding worldwide reputation. To those who laid our foundation in 1923, as well as to our faculty, staff, and alumni who carry our legacy forward, we are truly grateful. With nearly 47,000 alumni in 86 countries, we're delighted to present 9 of those alumni with this once-in-a-lifetime honor, the UB School of Management's Centennial Achievement and Impact Award. These notable alumni have demonstrated exceptional leadership in their careers and have made outstanding contributions to their industries, their communities, and the world. Upon receipt of their award, we have asked each honoree to tell us a brief story about a challenge overcome, a deep regret, or a perspective-changing success or failure. The choice is theirs. So with that, I'm going to talk about our first honoree. Our first honoree is George Chamoun, CEO of ACV. When asked about his job search prior to graduation, George responded, "I'm not looking for a job, I'm starting a business." That was in 1997, and Buffalo did not yet have a supportive entrepreneurial ecosystem that it has today. But George and his co-founder persevered, growing their 1998 startup, Synacor, into a successful software company with more than 400 employees. From there, George took the helm at ACV and led this innovative tech firm to become Buffalo's first unicorn. George routinely feeds and supports the Western New York entrepreneurial ecosystem that he helped create. He chaired Launch New York for 6 years, and he regularly shares his entrepreneurial wisdom with others who are eager to create successful companies. I'm pleased to present the UB School of Management Centennial Achievement Award and Impact Award to George Chamoun. George.
Well, this is quite wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for coming. Dinar, thank you for selecting me to help celebrate this incredible centennial milestone for UB School of Management. I'm so grateful and would love to use this time to share 3 gifts that were offered to me over the years. The first gift. Growing up, we didn't have any money. There's my mom there somewhere. And we went through some very difficult times. But no matter how challenging it was, my parents pressed for us to believe. To believe are not only words, it's embodied in our everyday life. My parents would consistently say, "We are blessed for what we have." And they have made sure we truly believed that we could achieve anything we put our minds to. As business leaders, once you truly believe in your North Star, you will attract other like-minded people who will also passionately join your story. The second gift was the advice I got while I was at dinner with the former president of Coca-Cola Enterprises, John Ulm, who is also a former UB alumni. Throughout the evening, John kept us in suspense on the secret to building a very successful company. He had us guessing throughout the entire evening. After a wonderful dinner and some wine, he finally shared his secret. It turned out his words of wisdom were very simple. Hire happy people. When you look at guys like Andy Peer, by the way, happy people, okay? He went on to explain that it was more important to hire happy people versus whether someone graduated from an Ivy League school or a state school, or if the person had X or Y years experience, and boy, was he serious about that. The third gift was from my wife and partner for the past 20 years. Like most entrepreneurs, throughout my journey, I tended to work extreme hours, and at times stressed a little too much. Her words settled my mindset. Our work will never be done. Therefore, we must take the time today to take care of ourselves. And thankfully, with her support, I believe I'm in the best health I've been in my career. So I share those 3 gifts to the next generation of leaders looking to build a company, disrupt an industry, or change the world. It starts with you believing, hire happy people, take care of yourself. And for that, good luck, and thank you for giving me the honor to celebrate with the UB community and fellow alumni in this tremendous 100-year celebration. Thank you. First one in.
First one.
All right. There we go.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. Active in the community is an understatement of epic proportions when describing our next honoree, Donna DeCarolis. Currently, Donna is the president of National Fuel Gas Distribution. She also serves on New York State's Climate Action Council, which is charged with creating a plan to reach the state's greenhouse gas emissions goals. Taken alone, each of these commitments is daunting, but together they're enormous. Yet somehow, Donna also finds the time to share strategic insights and thoughtful leadership with numerous other economic, cultural, and educational nonprofits, including the Buffalo Niagara Partnership, the Business Council of New York State, Frank Lloyd Wright's Martin House, the Buffalo Sabres Foundation, Shays O'Connell Preservation Guild, Leadership Buffalo, Niagara University, and the UB School of Management. It is with gratitude that I present the UB School of Management Centennial Achievement and Impact Award to Donna DeCarolis.
Yeah, and I know I have some National Fuel colleagues that are wondering, now they know where I am all the time, right? I do also have a day job, but in any case, thank you very much. And first, I just want to say how truly honored I am to be here today, to be honored by the UB School of Management, to be here with these wonderful honorees, and it was great to meet so many of you last night and today. So my story just covers the path that led me to be here where I am today before you. When I think about how lucky I am to work for what I view as a premier Western New York headquartered company, and again, thanks to my many colleagues that are here today and had to dress up to be here, I can see, and for a company that has supported my community involvement and to be getting this recognition from a university that I so respect. It's just great to be here. So really just my story is the path that led me here, and really it's two things. First, my family, and then the education that I received at the University at Buffalo. So just a couple words about my family. When I think about my family, I particularly think about commitment to a good education and hard work. And first I reflect upon my grandmothers, Jenny and Augie. They were both Italian immigrants, and they both worked in factories, never had education past the 3rd grade, worked all the overtime that they could get so they could try to have enough money to be able to own their own homes. And they kind of handled the finances, handled the family, handled their husbands. They had husbands. And I have every belief that both of them would have been CEOs if they had had the opportunities that they helped provide for me. And then also my father who spoke to me or maybe lectured me every night at the dinner table about the importance of hard work and a good education. He was the first son of a working class family. He started his college education in around 1941 at Brown University, but he never completed his degree. He enlisted in the Navy for World War II and then served several years on a submarine in the Pacific. He left the service eventually to work for General Mills, and we moved to Buffalo when I was 3 years old, really so he could advance in his career, where he ultimately became one of 12 regional sales managers in all of the U.S., and he was the only one that did so without a college degree. So college he thought was very important because he wondered what would he have done if he'd had that degree. So it's my father who led me to UB as the best value for the education for a top-ranked, nationally ranked school of management, which leads me to UB. So after I completed my undergraduate degree in business and decided to go on for my MBA, my dad, without hesitation, and my dad was a very frugal guy, said he would pay for me to go on for my graduate degree as long as I continued to live at home, worked my 2 part-time jobs to try to keep my rusting Volkswagen Beetle on the road through the Buffalo winters, which I managed. So that was wonderful. And at UB, I had wonderful professors that really guided and empowered us and challenged us. And one of whom I will never forget is Dr. Arun Jain, who helped us with the practical application of the theoretical. He really connected us with community, which helped me grow into community service, and counseled me and wrote letters of recommendation for me. So back to my dad. He was not an effusive person, and he definitely did not wear his emotions on his sleeve. However, the sole exception would be probably at the Bills games at the old rock pile or at the Odd, okay, so where he did cheer. But on the day that I crossed the stage to receive my MBA, I heard a shout and a cheer that I couldn't believe, and I turned my head, and so did everybody else. And my dad stood up and cheered so loudly. It was something that I'd never heard before except at a Bills game or at a Sabres game. And sometimes it wasn't an appreciative cheer, but this was. So in any case, back to my thank you for today. In memory of my grandmothers, my father, especially Elio Richard DeCarolis, my sincere thanks for guiding me to where I am today. And congratulations to the School of Management for this wonderful centennial. My thanks to Dean Iyer, and I also want to recognize my MBA classmate, Cynthia Shore, for all that you do for the university. Thank you all, and what a great day. Thank you, Dean.
Thank you, Donna. Rich Products was born from innovation 78 years ago. And our next honoree, Richard Ferranti, is at the helm what is now Western New York's largest privately held company driving that innovation forward. Rich Products employs more than 13,000 associates around the world, all of them focused on creating unique and distinctive value for their customers. As CEO since 2020, Richard leads the long-term strategic direction, performance, and growth of this $5.8 billion company while seeking ways for all associates to learn, grow, and thrive. His priorities include extensive global growth through innovation, sustainable, healthy food options, and a commitment to Western New York. The Buffalo City Mission, Say Yes, and Stitch Buffalo are just a few of the community organizations that are grateful to Rich Products for that commitment. It's my honor and privilege to present the UB School of Management's Centennial Achievement and Impact Award to Richard Ferranti.
Thank you very much, Donna. That was great. That visual of your dad standing up was pretty evocative, right? Right? What do you think about that? So first off, I want to thank everybody here, to all the faculty, students, alumni, distinguished guests. It's a privilege, truly a privilege, to celebrate 100 years of the School of Management's success. It's a pretty incredible milestone when you step back and think about what that means. The people that have been impacted, the communities, and just the jobs that have been created. It's really astounding. I'd also like to recognize and congratulate my fellow honorees for the collective impact that all of you have had on your businesses, on the community, and just a special, special honor that you're all going to receive here today. I'd also like to thank President Satish, who I think is going to join us for lunch, Provost Scott Weber, and obviously our Dean, and Cynthia, too, who is behind the scenes, and any of you who have any interaction with the school know that she kind of makes this whole thing work, and much of this wouldn't happen without her energy and what she brings to bear here. So again, thank you for that leadership. Thank you for everything that you do for this school and making this really an enjoyable, and as one of my other honorees says, a happy place for much of us to sort of show up here. You know, when I was invited here with this honor, I was, just really literally filled with gratitude. And instead of, I don't think this is really though about me. I think this is about us collectively and about the school. And it's about the institution and the tremendous amounts of work that these last 100 years have laid to bear. When you really think about any organization and to be successful over 100 years, private, public, in education, in business, in technology, in healthcare, there really is, at the end, a couple of essential values that really ensure that you're going to be successful for that long and into the future. And it is a strong set of core values. It's the character of the leadership and the people who work in that organization. It's a commitment to learning. It's a commitment to innovation. It's a commitment to developing and growing the people that are in that organization so they can reach their fullest. And it's all about taking risks and rewarding those risks up to a certain point, obviously, and creating a positive impact on the community and those around you. So it's about giving back. At Rich's, together with the School of Management, and it was nice to see our founder up on the video here, who graduated back in the, I think, late 30s. Yeah, it was really, really, really nice to see that. We've had a relationship and a partnership that has gone back literally that far. And while there's a multitude of things that I could talk about related to the literally hundreds, perhaps thousands of folks that have gone through this school and made an impact on our organization and on the communities, and really I could go on and on. There's just a few that I'd like to highlight that I think really are important and emblematic of what I think makes a great partnership, what really is important for all of us when we think about what we need to do and what we need to give back. This school has a lot of advantages. One of it is the size and the scale and the ability for these schools to work across School of Social Science, the engineering school, the School of Management, and so on. And so over the past couple of years, we've launched a couple of programs that I think are pretty unique and sort of bring that to light. In Indonesia, we launched a program for disadvantaged women and helped them learn how to start a business, how to start a small bakery business, and really give them a sense of, what's necessary to make that happen. In 2023 alone, through the first 8 or 9 months of this year, across not only Indonesia, but in India, in Malaysia, in Vietnam, we've trained about 10,000 homemakers, all women, all from somewhat disadvantaged backgrounds, in concert with the school to really think about how could they start their own business. But it's not about just the business. What this is about is giving those women an opportunity to succeed in a way they never thought possible, to give them an opportunity for independence, to give them a sense of what's actually possible. And for that combination of our folks, the School of Management, we all bring to bear, I think that just really is something that's pretty extraordinary when you think about that impact and the multiplier effect of that. So at the end, when you step back and really reflect on what's the school all about, what do we as individuals need to do here, it is really all about giving back. It is all about thinking about how you can make an impact on a positive way. We're all blessed. We're all in a really unique position, and how we can help folks who may not be quite as advantaged as us is really something that sort of plays it forward, so to speak. I think it's our collective duty to care, to help people with that sense of hope and opportunity, to make sure that they understand that you can challenge the status quo. You should never, ever let someone tell you it's not possible or that you can't do it. And that combination of character, business acumen, people genuinely really caring about making a difference, I think that's really what this is all about. That's what this school stands for, and that's what's possible and gives you such hope when you think about it, and such confidence when you think about the future. So I'll sort of end this with a quote from Nelson Mandela. So it's in your hands to make it a better world for all of us to live in. So, with that, again, I want to thank you for the honor. Really do appreciate this, and thank you very much for everything.
Thank you, Rich. With more than 30 years of global experience in industrial technology and imaging, our next honoree, Jeff Jacobson, rose to the top by helping customers improve their productivity and enhance their operations, and by committing to help remedy inequities in the business world. Jeff is executive chairman of Electronics for Imaging and Fiery LLC, as well as executive partner at the Siris Capital Group. Previously, as CEO of Xerox Corporation, Jeff oversaw the largest product launch in its more than 100-year history. He also served as president, CEO, and chairman of Prestech, chief operating officer of Eastman Kodak's Graphic Communications Group, and CEO of Kodak Polychrome Graphics. Through all of his success, Jeff has never forgotten his alma mater and the students beginning with their professional journeys here. Jeff and his wife Irene started 2 scholarship funds, one for incoming MBAs and one focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm grateful and honored to be presenting the Centennial Achievement and Impact Award to Jeff Jacobson. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. My sincere thanks for this very kind honor and award. It is truly very humbling, and when you hear how my journey at UB started, Dean, you may want to rescind it. I started my UB career on the 9th floor of Goodyear Hall in August 1977. I was excited about my college career and ignored all warnings about the first semester college slump. My first exam was in calculus. My score was a 68, but my curved grade was a B-. While not a great grade, I thought this curve system might be pretty cool. A 68 was now close to a B. Fast forward to January, and the first semester grades were in. Unlike today, grades were snail-mailed back home to our parents. We did not have email or texting back then, and as many of us did not have much money, we would make a collect call home. Our parents would deny the very expensive charges, and since they knew they could reach us, they would phone us on a novel device called a landline. Having seen my roommate's downtrodden face after speaking to his parents, I was not too excited about my upcoming conversation with my dad. My dad took a very unconventional approach that went something like this. Jeff, your grades came in the mail. How did I do, Dad? He said, well, you did not do very well, and I have one question. Did you do the best you could? Sheepishly, I said, I am sure I probably could have done better. He said, okay, just do your best, live up to your potential, and most importantly of all, don't get sick over these things, and know that Mom and I love you. Felt this big. That conversation with my dad was one of the turning points of my life and my future. He knew that this would unleash me to do everything possible to try and never let he and my mother down again. I believe from that semester forward, throughout my remaining 7 semesters at UB, my master's degree, and then law school, I never had below a 3.5 again. It was a tremendous leadership learning for me. It demonstrated to me that you have to know each individual you are interacting with and determine what will motivate them to respond in a positive manner. I clearly know who I am. I know I am not the smartest person in the room. However, what I learned after the lesson of my first semester at UB is this, and we all have them, and there are 525,600 of them. We all have the same number of minutes in a year to get things done. Knowing that I am not the smartest person in the room, I always tried to be the hardest working one. One of the classes at UB which I embraced and embedded in my life and who I am, as well as in my business, was organizational behavior. It was understanding human tendencies. Not everyone responds to the same messages, and they need to be tailored. We need to understand each person's strengths and put them in a position where we can accentuate their positives and surround them with those who can shore up their areas of opportunity. It is our job as leaders to find the strengths in those we deal with and put them in a position to succeed and to win. To the students and future leaders who are here today, I hope you will take from this that there are no limits to what you can achieve in life. For the most part, you have control of what you will do in those 525,600 minutes. Others may try to define you, but do not let them. You know yourself better than anyone. Believe in yourself and have the courage and intestinal fortitude to follow your dreams while understanding that there are no shortcuts to success. To this great university, President Tripathi, Dean Iyer, this university also has no limits, and I encourage us to continue to build it, not with those who see UB as a stepping stone, but to those who see UB as a place where they can make a lasting difference in order to propel and fulfill dreams. I know that is what UB has done for me, and I thank you very much.
Our next honoree, Ridzki Kramadibrata, was initially challenged by the open dialogue his MBA professors encouraged in class, a sharp contrast to the lecture style setup he knew back home in Indonesia. He embraced the experience, though, and used those skills to extraordinary success in a 25-year career at the forefront of Asia's tech revolution. Ridzki was named president of Grab Indonesia in 2019 and now serves as commissioner. Under his leadership, Grab exploded in popularity, pushing Uber out of Southeast Asia and becoming one of the continent's most used super apps. During the coronavirus pandemic, Ridzki led the company's efforts to ensure the health and safety of its users and drivers. This effort was crucial to the introduction of new products, including the delivery of daily essentials and on-demand concierge services. Grab also saved lives and reduced hospitalizations by setting up drive-through vaccination sites. I am pleased to award the UB School of Management Centennial Achievement and Impact Award to Ridzki Kramadibrata.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty, Dean Ayer, fellow alumni, and distinguished guests, I am truly deeply honored and humbled to stand before you today as a recipient of the University of Buffalo School of Management Centennial Achievement and Impact Award. This recognition is more than a mere token of appreciation. It represents a journey that began in 1997 for me. As a young graduate, I arrived in Buffalo here with a mix of excitement and anxiety. Yes, I vividly remember my first encounter with Buffalo's winter. A stark contrast to the tropical climate of Indonesia, trust me. It was a very challenging adjustment, but it was in those early days that I discovered the warmth and resilience of the Buffalo community and fellow international students. One of the greatest gifts this institution gave me was the opportunity to explore my passion for technology. The late 90s marked the beginning of an era defined by rapid technological advancement, and I was fortunate to be a part of it. The courses I took, the professors, and the peers I collaborated with helped me build a strong foundation in technology. My career journey has been a diverse one, starting in telecommunication and then expanding into others. When I entered telco industry, it was a time when mobile phones were becoming a household necessity rather than a luxury. I was fortunate to be a part of an industry that connected people, bridging geographical gaps and making communications easier for everyone. My journey then led me to the aviation industry. I witnessed how technology, again, could make air travel safer, more efficient, and accessible to a broader audience. So the lessons I learned in Buffalo about adaptability and problem solving proved invaluable as I navigated through the challenges. In recent years, as Dean Ayer just told you about, I found myself luckily immersed in the world of platform businesses. I'm not quite sure whether it's lucky or unfortunate, yeah, but it's a very complicated one. This dynamic space has allowed me to witness firsthand how technology, again, can transform industries and create opportunities to millions of people. Whether it's providing access to goods and services, connecting individuals, or fostering economic empowerment, platforms have the potential to positively impact the lives of countless people worldwide. Today, I stand before you here not only as a proud alumnus of University of Buffalo, but as someone who remains deeply committed to using technology as a force for good. The knowledge and values instilled in me during my time here have shaped my career and my life's mission. I would like to once again express my heartfelt gratitude to the University at Buffalo for this incredible honor. This recognition is not just a reflection of my journey, but a testament to the incredible opportunities that UB has provided to countless students over the past century. I share this honor with the faculty, Dean Ayer, Cynthia Shore, and many others who have shaped my educational journey, the fellow alumni who have inspired me, many of them couldn't be here, I know, my friends, like Joe. Where's Joe? I personally invited him because without him, without Joe, I would not be here. Long story, but that is the truth. And of course, my family, my late father and my late mother, I'm sure they will be proud, my brothers and sisters. But of course, my wife, Ainiki here, who she's here, she actually always alongside me when I fight the hardest fights, but also can advise me to say no when things are not worth to fight for. That's why I love her so much. Thank you, Ainiki. I'm so blessed. My children, Faza, who couldn't be here, and Afi, who is here, who have supported me throughout. Thank you once again for this award. And I promise to continue making this esteemed institution proud through my dedications to the betterment of society with the transformative power of technology. Thank you, and go Bulls.
Thank you.
While offering remarks to incoming MBAs, our next honoree, Margie McGlynn, noticed, "I expected that adding an MBA degree to my pharmacy degree would enable me to make a bigger impact, but I never imagined how big that impact would be." Her UB degrees led to a 26-year career at Merck, leading commercial functions and ultimately serving as the president of Merck Vaccines, where she ran an $8 billion global business that developed new vaccines to prevent HPV and cervical cancer, rotavirus disease, and shingles. Then, as CEO of the International AIDS Vaccine Initiative, Margie helped to progress vaccines into human testing to prevent this devastating illness. Margie also founded the Hempling Foundation for homocystinuria research, which funds the development of new treatments for the rare disorder that claimed the lives of two of her sisters at a young age. The world is grateful to Margie McGlynn, and we are pleased to honor her with the UB School of Management's Centennial Achievement and Impact Award.
Well, thank you, Dean and Cynthia. I'm truly honored and humbled to be here. I feel like we should be given the School of Management an Impact Award for everything that you've accomplished. And you know, hearing about over 40,000 graduates of the School of Management, Cynthia, I think maybe you should have used AI to vet who should be up here today, and I'm not so sure I would have made the cut. But I'm truly honored to be among this esteemed group of honorees. So I wanted to talk about impact. So I first started with, what's a definition? Looked online, found a very simple definition: having a strong effect on someone or something. So when I thought about that, and I thought back over the course of my life, it was very clear what had the greatest impact on me. It all began at the age of 4. My next older sister was 6 years old, and she was having vision issues. My parents took her to an ophthalmologist who said he could fix her vision. But he was worried and strongly recommended that they take her to Children's Hospital, as he had recently read about a genetic metabolic disease that can first show up with these specific issues. So they took her, and unfortunately, she had that disease called homocystinuria. You did a pretty good job with that, by the way. They then tested myself, my older brother who's here, my older sister who's here, my next younger sister, and eventually my other 2 younger sisters who were born. And unfortunately, my younger sister, who was 2 years old at the time, also tested positive. They both suffered severe consequences of this disease over the next several years, including blood clots, seizures, cognitive deficit. Both were in wheelchairs, and both were in and out of hospitals. The experts recommended institutionalizing them, but my parents refused to even consider it. My father was a pharmacist and owned a pharmacy, and I couldn't understand why he didn't have any medication that could help them. He couldn't understand it either, and obviously it frustrated him. Then when I was 11, my 9-year-old sister died of a pulmonary embolism. 6 months later, my 14-year-old sister died of a stroke. I was in shock. I remember being at the cemetery, staring into the hole where their bodies would be lowered in a casket. This shouldn't happen to your sisters. This shouldn't happen to any children. I vowed someday I would do something about it. So after studying at UB in the Joint Pharmacy MBA program, I learned the skills that enabled me to work in the pharmaceutical industry where I thought I could have the greatest impact. And I believe I did have an impact bringing new medicines and vaccines to the market, as you heard about, to prevent diseases like HPV, cervical cancer, as well as treatments for AIDS. But there were no leads for homocystinuria to develop. It just wasn't a large enough target market for anyone to have done much research. So after 26 years, I decided to retire early, and I set up a research fund to make sure that no children in the future had to endure what my sisters did. The Hempling Foundation for Homocystinuria Research then gave out its first grant to an academic researcher who had developed a synthetic version of the defective enzyme. My grant enabled him to test the product in mice that were bred for this disease, and it lowered their homocysteine levels to normal. A biotech then licensed the product, and the first phase of human testing just completed this year, showing up to a 67% reduction in homocysteine, getting to near normal levels. Thank you. The last phase of testing is beginning by the end of this year, and hopefully patients will have access to this treatment in 2 to 3 years. And no siblings or parents will have to watch young children lowered into the ground in a small casket. I guess my sisters helped me finally figure out where I could have the greatest impact. Thanks to UB, including the School of Management, for giving me the skills to do so. Life can really take you full circle.
Thank you, Margie. Our next honoree, Tunney Murchie, is truly a self-made man. He exemplifies what hard work and commitment can lead to. The extraordinary success of the companies he has founded is proof. Lackawanna Products began with 3 employees, 3 desks, and 3 telephones. Today, the company and its startup spin-off, LPC Logistics, employ 160 and serve the 48 contiguous United States and Canada. Tunney learned the fundamentals of commodities trading at the Pillsbury Company Feed and Grain Trading Division, where he worked alongside the country's top commodity traders. Just 4 years into the job, he established a new office in London. Tunney and his family are staunch supporters of UB athletics. For his achievements as a business founder and leader, and for his commitment to UB, I am so pleased to present Tunney Murchie with the UB School of Management Centennial Achievement and Impact Award.
My spectacles out. I look around here and I see some puzzled faces. And I know what you're thinking. how the heck did he ever get up here? Well, I'm going to tell you how. About 6 or 7 weeks ago, I got a call from a very charming lady, Cynthia Shore. And she said to me, not Mr. Murchie, not Tunney Murchie, hey, Murchie. We're debating here about including you in our celebration. I got totally excited. If I could have jumped through the telephone wire, I would have given her the biggest hug you could. But she says, there's 2 things you're going to have to do. The first thing is be on time. UB time, not Tunney Murchie time. The second thing she said, you're going to have to clean yourself up. Every time I see you, you're in one of those tacky tracksuits with those stinky sneakers. You're going to have to change that. And if you can do those 2 things, I'll give you one more guarantee, and I could tell you, I knew she did her homework. She says, after the get-together here, I'm going to give you something to eat. So, how could I refuse? And what do you think? Not that bad, right? I am extremely grateful to be included in a group of 9 honorees whose business journeys have completely fascinated me. I have been part of the UB community as a student athlete and alumni for over 50 years, and I would like to compliment President Satish Tripathi for a job well done building the state of New York at Buffalo. I've been a distant observer of the president for quite some time, and he has built an impeccable team. I'll get to you, sir. It takes time to build a business from the ground level up. There are numerous highs and lows, and even if you're fortunate to be successful, there's a great deal of personal sacrifices in the mix. Failure is not an option. Over the past 15 years, my approach in business has changed. I have a tendency to reflect on our accomplishments, something I never done before in the past. It was always full speed ahead. The routine at home has changed as well. Before I hit the sack, I pass through the kitchen for a little snack that's usually not very healthy. Then I go to my bedroom to gather my thoughts, say a little prayer, nothing extremely gushy, just a prayer to offer my thanks for a great life. Most prayers go to my immediate family, and I pray they think I'm a good father, a good provider, and they know and can feel how much I love them. Also, I pray for my LPC family, in hoping that I'm meeting their needs and assisting my colleagues in achieving their goals. I also started praying for people I don't know and will most likely never meet. That's when LPC and the Murchie family started feeding the hungry during COVID and created opportunities for people who just needed that break in life. Our relationship with UB and the special contacts, Eric Gross, John Lambert, and Mark Allnut have been impeccable. They present us with opportunities that would benefit people I don't know and probably will never meet. There was never any pressure or demands, and it turned out to be a wonderful experience over the years. I would strongly recommend this to any UB alumni who wants to acknowledge this and where it all began. Finally, About 5 or 6 years ago, I made a huge mistake. The mistake was I wasted a prayer. The prayer was selfish because I put myself first. Because of today, that wasted prayer has become a dream come true. I would like to give a special thanks to the Dean, Dean Iyer, Cynthia Shore, and the entire board of directors that provided me with a memory I will never forget. Till I take my last breath. Thank you. Thank you.
eBay, GE, and Intel are household names to all of us. Our next honoree, Bob Swan, was the Chief Financial Officer for all of them and CEO of Intel. Much of Bob's success and impact is based on his advanced understanding of the role of finance. It's not about counting the beans, it's about helping the beans grow. Bob moved from Chief Financial Officer of Intel to CEO, where he led a team of 110,000 people to create world-changing technologies that enrich the lives of every person on Earth. Along the way, Bob has nurtured more than 35 individuals to CFO roles. Today, Bob is the operating partner on the growth investing team at Andreessen Horowitz, where he shares his wealth of knowledge and experience with growth stage companies as they scale their businesses. Bob is an inspiration to students and alumni, and I'm pleased to honor him with the UB School of Management Centennial Achievement and Impact Award.
Well, I clearly feel after listening to my fellow honorees that I just don't belong and don't deserve to be here after hearing your incredible stories. So thanks for sharing them. They had an impact. Before I share my story, I want to congratulate the university on an amazing 100 years of which we all benefited, and thank President Tripathi, Dean Iyer, and the UB Foundation for this special recognition. I am truly honored. My story is about the power of teamwork and team sport. I experienced great joy as a kid in upstate New York playing team sport. In the Swan family household, there were 9 of us, all under the age of 15. In a neighborhood which seemed like had hundreds and hundreds of other kids. Growing up, everything was a competition. Unfortunately, I was not the best athlete. I wasn't the fastest. I wasn't the strongest. I wasn't the biggest. And I sure as hell wasn't the tallest. My brothers were bigger and stronger. My sisters were faster and quicker. And as a middle child, I often went simply unnoticed. I simply needed to figure out how I was going to compete effectively. Basketball was my game, my passion. I was a bit height challenged, but my dad had grown 6 inches in his senior year in high school. And I felt all along, if I get those 6 inches, the sky is the limit, and I would pursue my passion of basketball in college. As you can tell, the 6 inches never arrived. My scholarship did not materialize, so it was off to the bank to borrow a bunch of money so I could pay my way through college and find yet another passion. At university, I discovered rugby. I didn't know anything about the game. It seemed much more complicated than basketball. First, there are 15 players on each team, all required to play together as one. And you depend on each other to capitalize on opportunities and exploit the vulnerabilities of your competition. You come prepared to play the game, and you needed to be there for each other. If not, your team's weaknesses were exploited, or worse yet, one of your teammates would get hurt. For me, it was the ultimate team sport. Rugby was my new passion. Over the next several years through undergrad and grad school, I learned so much about team sport and leadership through rugby. But despite all of these incredible learnings, there was no money to be made in rugby, and I had some serious loans to be repaid. Under my dad's strong encouragement, it was time to, quote, stop playing games and get a job. Well, fortunately, I found my new passion, and my passion was the sport of business. I realized that business is a team sport, and that my learnings in basketball and rugby would serve me well over the course of my career. I am blessed to be here today, not because I'm the best athlete or the best executive. And like Jeff, I'm not any smarter than the next person. I'm here today because I embrace the power of teamwork, where the leader's role is to ensure the whole of the team's performance is greater than the sum of the individuals on the team, where work ethic matters, and showing up prepared to play for the rest of your team is critical, where leaders do not spend time and energy displaying their greatness, but all their energies are about illuminating the greatness in those around them. And when you leave the field in business, much like in sport, you leave it all on the field. You give it your all. I learned a great deal about team sport here at UB on the campus, both in the classroom and on the rugby pitch. I'm forever grateful not just for the education, but also that the university and the Student Association fund club sports so students can continue to develop and build team-oriented skills. In the sport of business, these teamwork-oriented skills really matter. Thank you. Much appreciated.
An influential leader, a strategic thinker, and a change maker. Our next honoree, Judy Vredenburgh, is all of these and more. As president and CEO of Girls Inc. for 9 years, Judy created an enduring legacy, a generation of girls that will grow up to be strong, smart, and bold. This extraordinary nonprofit helps girls navigate gender, economic, and social barriers through research-based programming and long-lasting mentorship. Under her leadership, Girls Inc. expanded to reach more than 156,000 girls annually. Judy was appointed to the Advisory Council for President Barack Obama's Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships. She previously served as President and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America, where she helped grow the organization's annual revenue and double the number of children they served. Judy Vredenburgh's impact on girls and young people everywhere is astounding. I am honored and privileged to present her with the Centennial Achievement and Impact Award. Judy.
Thank you. Let me add my gratitude for this amazing award and acknowledgement. My 5-decade-long professional life spanned 2 distinct sectors. First, retail merchandising, and then nonprofit. My story that I'll share today is how I pursued both careers and navigated the transition. While still in college, I decided to pursue a career where I could become financially independent. However, at that time, I also determined that once I was successful, I would pursue a socially oriented second career. I did not know when or how I would transition, but I would. Right out of college, I joined a retail training program in New York City and learned that I liked line merchandise management and its fast pace and objective results. After 1 year, I moved to Buffalo so my husband could pursue a PhD here at UB. I supported us as a department store buyer and enrolled in UB's nighttime MBA program, the only woman in that year's class. My UB MBA proved integral to my future development as a leader. After graduate school, we moved to Detroit for professional opportunities. Then, when our daughter was born, we decided to move to the East Coast to be close to our families. My husband gave up a tenured position in order to make the move that would benefit both of us. 2 decades and several promotions later, I accepted a risky position as CEO of a troubled retailer. A disagreement about business strategy led to my departure, but this seemingly negative experience provided an opportunity to launch my second career. I explored nonprofit work by providing pro bono consultation, joined a board, and learned all I could about nonprofit leadership. Eventually, the president of March of Dimes hired me. She took a chance on me and hired me as the senior VP for revenue development. This was particularly appealing due to the circumstances of our daughter's birth. I earned less compensation, frankly, way less compensation, but because of a previous employment contract, my husband and my family, we were all able to continue a stable lifestyle. My entrance into March of Dimes was rocky. I was brought in to lead change, I thought, but the culture clash was immediate. I had to learn that nonprofits emphasize processes in order to engage the passionate, many stakeholders. Consensus rather than speed and efficiency was rewarded. Fortunately, I was flexible and learned. After 6 years at March of Dimes, I became, as you heard, CEO and president of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. I had to move to Philadelphia for the position, with my husband remaining in New York City and our daughter at college. After more than 10 years in a position I absolutely loved, I decided to move back to New York City to live with my husband and where our married daughter had settled. As in the past, I made the move without a position, but with optimism. I landed the perfect career culminating role, CEO of Girls Inc. After all, I'm a feminist from the 60s, you know. There, I enacted my lifelong commitment as a feminist through our mission to develop strong, smart, and bold girls. After 9 successful years, I retired. During my long career, I've been able to find changes as opportunities. I summoned the courage to pursue my values, and I recognize I have been very fortunate. Thank you.
Congratulations to all our honorees. You are all truly deserving of this recognition. Thank you for your inspirational stories and remarks. Our celebration today will continue with a champagne toast and a delicious lunch over in the atrium. thank you on behalf of the Alumni Association for being part of this awards presentation. Your presence here today has helped us to honor these 9 outstanding individuals. Honorees, please come to the stage for a group photo before heading to the luncheon. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for attending.